YouTube? It is Mr. Mean coming at you this Friday morning. It is not even 8 a.m. I am up early. It's my day off. I hope everyone is having a beautiful, wonderful start to their weekend. It is another video du jour. Today we're going to talk about couple things that are going on with the channel. We're going to talk about some Talisman from Pegasus Spiel and then some Mwangi Expanse. So check it out, hang out, peace, love, and hair grease. Let's get this turkey on the road. All right, so today's video du jour, I was in my local game store, Level Up, a couple of weeks ago, and I saw this shrink-wrapped box, and I saw a symbol that I know very well. That is for those that don't know, it's a Talisman symbol. And yes, this is produced in conjunction with Games Workshop, and it's a company I never heard of before, Pegasus Spiel. I'm assuming it's a German company. I don't know for sure. But what was cool is they had 2 copies sitting on the shelf that were shrink wrapped. And as you can see, this is I'm assuming it's faux leather, but it feels like leather. And it's got these metal corner caps on the front and back of the book. It is gorgeous. There's the spine. If I could put it right side up. It's the book. The production value is bar none. It is really nicely done. Does come with a nice, tassel page mark. There is a map in the back, and I gotta say, I wish Paizo and Watsy would take a page out of Pegasus Spiel and do this. They put a little corner piece of plastic that's obviously probably glued or heat bound into the corner, and then the map is just sitting in there. So it came with this little tiny map. I'm not going to unfold the map because we all know what maps look like. It's the map of Talisman, and then it came with a bunch of light and dark fate, and we'll go over those in a minute. Actually, I'll just pull that out. These are just cardboard tokens. You could use gaming stones, dice, poker chips, whatever you wanted. I honestly think I have a couple of poker chips from the Dark Eye that would work really well for this. Now the difference is, though, with the Dark Eye tokens, they're not light or dark, so you would have to keep a pile for the players and a pile for the GM. But these are the cardboard tokens. They're relatively thick. They'll last you a while. The quality's decent on them. But this is just a little piece of the art and the layout of the book I wanted to show, if I can get it in the picture there. So you can see the art is quite nice. I have a directional mic, so if I don't talk towards the mic, you guys won't hear me. But the art and the page layout is quite nice. The art is kind of this cartoony style. I don't know how to describe it. It's really well done, though. I really, really like it. There's a good one right there. There's the map, map of the realm, and then there's another piece of art. So you guys can pause that or go back and look at it. Like I said, production quality, it's beautiful. It's hardback, but it's kind of cushiony. You can kind of see I'm pushing in. It's like this, I assume it's faux leather. But yeah, it's really nice. And of course, on the inside cover, we've got the Talislantis symbol. And what was neat about this is there was 2 copies in the store, shrink wrap, like I said. I didn't know anything about this. I knew the game was coming out. I bought the PDF on Drive-Thru RPG, but PDF and a physical book are 2 different things. And when I saw this, I knew the symbol, so I knew what it was, and I was like, but I didn't know a limited edition, leather cover was coming out. So it was 80 or 90 bucks. I think it was 80 bucks. And then the owner of the store has seen my channel and he knows I give a shout out to him. So he gave me 10% off. So I couldn't pass it up. But this is number 814 out of 1,000. So not super low number, but at least there's only 1,000 of these made and I've got one. So pretty excited about that. So what is Talisman? Well, if you've ever played the old Games Workshop board game Talisman, you know what it is. It's a high fantasy set in the Warhammer world of adventure. And the board game for its time was like, it's one of the most renowned board games out there. I mean, I think everybody has a copy. I know I have. I think I have 2 copies actually. I have the new one that they just did not too long ago, and I have like a super old copy that I bought years ago at a garage sale. But anyway, I haven't played it in years because it was just one of those games that could grind on forever and ever and ever. But it was a fun game. You know, the first hour or two, it's a lot of fun, and then if nobody wins, it just grinds on and on and on. And so that was the downside of the game, and I think they did address that in the second edition, but I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't played it in years. I have really no desire to play it because I don't have a group that enjoys board games. So if I had a group that enjoyed board games, that would be a different story. But I do have a group that enjoys role-playing games, and I, being an aficionado of role-playing games, of course, I do love board games. Now, this is going to come as a shocker to you guys, and I say that with all facetiousness intended. This is a D6 system. It's a dice pool. I love it. I haven't got to play it, but I watched Guy Sanders on his channel, How to Be a Great GM. They've ran a short campaign of this, and it was phenomenal. I really, I started watching it, and that's what made me go out and buy the PDF. As I was watching it, and I was like, oh my God, that's Talisman from back in the 80s, and it's a role-playing game. Ah, sweet. And it's not Warhammer, so I was like, I really like the game mechanics, and they were talking about Dark Fate and Light Fate, and he didn't really do a very good job of explaining the mechanics. They just kind of dived right into the game, which is how Guy likes to do it, and that's fine. But what little I did pick up of the mechanics and what little they did explain of it as they were playing the game really kind of intrigued me. And again, I'm not a D6 fan, although there's a lot of D6 games out there that are very good. Dragon Age comes to mind right off the top of the bat. I'm a big fan of any of the Fantasy Age, Dragon Age, Modern Age, Expanse. All those games use a D6 system, and they're all good. So what sets this out apart as a D6 system? Well, like I said, you have light and dark fate points. Each player starts the game with 1 fate point, and the GM gets 1 fate point for each player. And then you can spend fate to adjust your die rolls. But what's neat about this is there's only a couple of attributes and skills. The game does not bog you down with unnecessary stuff, which is amazing. So a character sheet is pretty cut and dry. You have 2 sides to the character. You have your strength side and your craft side. So you have your physical and your mental. So under strength, you have brawn, agility, and mettle. And under craft, you have insight, wits, and resolve. And those will have a number. And then what you're going to do is you're going to roll 3d6, and you're going to total it all up. And if you have a skill that relates, you get to add a +2. So you're looking for a target number 8, 11, 13, 17, whatever the GM decides. Obviously, the higher the number, the harder it is to do. And you're trying to beat a target number. And then you have a success. You have margins of success up and down, positive and negative. And then you also have, like I said, you have those fate points, or light and dark points, dark fate. Light fate, dark fate. It's hard to say for me for some reason. Anyway, you have these fate points, which is very Warhammer-esque, and you can do a number of things. The fate points are very important, and depending on the success you get, you may want to use a light fate to re-roll a die, which you have to keep a single die. You have to keep it. You can decide before you put your dice pool together to add a 4th die, thus rolling 4 die. You only get to keep 3. One of those 3 die, your core mechanic is 3 dice. One of them has to be a different color or differentiated somehow because it is your fate die. And it dictates either a critical success or a critical failure. A 6 is a critical success, and a 1 is a critical failure. And they don't use that failure term, and I apologize. I should have had that term fixated in my head, and I don't. Let's see, the Kismet. There we go. It's called a Kismet die. So it's like the Dragon die in Dragon Age. or the stunt die in Fantasy Age. And if it rolls a 6, it's still added to your total. You can never replace that die. That die always has to be in your dice pool. So if you add an extra die or you manipulate your dice pool somehow, that's the one die you can't take away. So that's why you want it to be a different color, or somehow differentiated between the rest of your dice. So and of course, if it rolls a 6, you get a fate point, and if it rolls a 1, the GM gets a dark fate point. And fate points, like I said, can be used for really cool stuff. And then you have degrees of success. So you have a standard, you have a failure, of course. You have a standard success, and you have an extraordinary success. Extraordinary successes are awesome. You can also, this is what I really like. So you get a standard success. You're trying to fight the evil, kobold or whatever orc, and you succeed. Well, the way combat and actions work is on a failure or a standard success. If you're in combat, the bad guy gets to do a reaction. Basically, they get their action. If you get an extreme success, they don't get an action. So the system rewards you for rolling really well. And watching the live play on Guy's channel was very interesting because it was really dynamic back and forth. And sometimes Guy, would get a super duper hit on them. The players always go first. They always get it's from the view of the players. So the monsters don't jump out and attack unless like they ambush you, and then they would get to go first. But normally the players get to go first in everything that they try to do, and then if they fail or they get a standard success, then the adversaries get to react. If they get an outstanding success, then they don't get to react. So it's really cool. And what's nice is if you get a standard success, you can spend a fate point to make it an outstanding success. So then you don't get, so in case of a combat, you wouldn't get hit, which is nice, because obviously getting hit sucks. There's armor in the game. Armor is ablative. In other words, if 8 points of damage gets through and you have 4 points of armor, only 4 points of damage gets through. Your armor can be damaged and stuff like that. So that's really cool. I like it. So it's not always a hit, so I get the best armor in the game. You can never hit me. No, your armor needs to be repaired. There's also another really cool thing that this game does is you have companions, sidekicks. So you can have a man-at-arms. Say you're playing a wizard. You're not very martial. You can have a man-at-arms companion who will fight for you while you stand in the back and sling spells. Now, that being said, you keep throwing them into the shit and you don't pay them very well, or there's a lot of risk for very little reward, they can up and leave you. So there's full mechanics for that, for the whole companion system here, which is really cool. This is just, in my opinion, a beautiful book. I'm looking very much forward to getting it to the game table. I think my players would like it. If you go to their website, and of course this is available on DriveThruRPG. You can also physically buy the book now because it is out. And if you go through DriveThruRPG, feel free to use my affiliate link. Puts a couple pennies in the channel, which I put back into the channel and buy things like this to make more content. So it's a perpetual wheel. You know how it goes. There's some pre-gens on their website or on Drive. I got everything off of DriveThruRPG. There's character sheets, there's a starting adventure, and there's pre-gen generated characters. So there's everything in this book that you need. There's how to upgrade your character's experience. There's adventuring. There's a GM section. This is a self-contained game. If you're one of those players that you look at D&D or Pathfinder and you go, I don't want 30 books. I just want one book. I want to be able to play the game, and that's all I want to buy. This could and you like high fantasy, this will be the game for you. You will enjoy this. You will not be disappointed. And if you are, let me know and tell me why you're disappointed. I like the mechanics. It has some fluidity to it. It has some wiggle room, with the fate, and it's easy to get more fates because every time your Kismet rolls a 6, you get a fate point. Now, of course, every time it rolls a 1, the GM gets a fate point, a dark fate point. But still, I like systems that do that. I think the 2D20 system by Modiphius is fantastic for that because as a GM of 2D20 games, I GM Star Trek, Conan, and Mutant Chronicles. I want to GM Infinity, but I can't find anybody to play it up here. It's not well known up here in the Great White North. But those games, the GM gets threat or doom or whatever you want to call it. And it's once the players understand how it works, they're excited to give you, like in Dark Symmetry points in Mutant Chronicles. My players love it. Boy, they agonize over it because they want to make this. They realize that giving me Dark Symmetry points makes the story more interesting, but it also makes it harder for them. But they love it. And once they figured that out, and it took about a session. After that first session of us playing Mutant Chronicles, they were like, if there was any doubt that they couldn't make a die roll, they were giving me a Dark Symmetry point for an extra D20 to roll. So I love systems that do that. They give the player some agency in the environment of the world, and this kind of does that as well with the Kismet die. Now, granted, you're relegated to the luck of the die. You may never roll a 6 all night, but I believe if I read correctly, the GM can give you fate points. Just like in Pathfinder and whatever, you could, an hour of play goes by, you could give your players a fate point, and you could always house rule that as well. So guys, this is totally worth it. If you're you like that kind of cartoony, dark art, but yet you want a solid rule system. Ulysses or Pegasus Spiel has knocked it out of the park. The book, I don't know what the regular book looks like. I know what the art looks like. It's just the cover image of the art, but I do like this cover. It's very rarely that I go for alternative covers or things like that. Typically I like to see the art on the cover because it just, for me, it works. But in this case, this book is gorgeous. It's laid out really well. The binding is strong. It's stitched and sewn. It's stitched and glued, and it's not going to fall apart. This book is going to last you for years. And that, like I said, the cover is gorgeous. I've put this in my backpack and taken it to work a couple of times, and a lot of times I forget and I just throw my backpack down. But with those metal corners, you can see they're not dinged up at all, and I'm very happy with it. It's metal, maybe plastic. It's hard to tell. I think it's a cheap metal, but anyway, it's moot because it's held together. I've had it for about a month now. It's gorgeous. I really enjoy it, and I think you should go check it out. And if you do, tell them Mr. Mean sent you. If you order it straight from Pegasus Spiel, tell them Mr. Mean sent you. I think this is really well done. I really like it. I like the fate mechanic. I like that the players get to go first in combat and then only get hit back if they fail or do a standard success. They don't get hit if they do an outstanding success. I think that's a really cool mechanic. And the D6 system just seems to work. I'm very critical of D6 systems, and in this case, I really feel like the D6 system really works. So enough of me gushing over this. Go out and buy it. It's totally worth your hobby dollars. The next thing we're going to talk about is, I just got this in the mail day before yesterday. I got it Wednesday. The Mwangi Expanse. I haven't even had a chance to look at it, but it's a nice hardback book. Retails for $49.95. Which is the U.S. retail. I'm on the direct ship for Paizo, so any core books that come out for Pathfinder 2nd edition, they just automatically charge my credit card and they ship it. Can I get it for cheaper? Yes, I can go on Amazon. I could probably get this for $39, $35, but I don't get the PDF. And Paizo does not have Paizo's gimmick, and I'm okay with it. I don't want it to sound negative. Paizo's gimmick is, if you buy it from us, you get the PDF for free. Like a lot of companies will say, oh, if you bought the book, send us a copy of the receipt, we'll send you the PDF. Paizo said, nah, screw that. We want to make sure that you're buying from us, and we want to give you an incentive to buy from us. And that incentive is that if you buy the book, either direct ship or you buy, you just go to their web store and you buy it, you automatically get the PDF. No ifs, ands, or buts. I like that because I know now I can go on the Paizo's website, I can log into my account, and I can download this book. It'll be in my account waiting for me. And that's why I like the ship on, or the direct subscription plan, because I could have actually downloaded this PDF probably a month ago. I didn't, because I didn't have a need for it, and to be honest, it slipped my mind. It showed up in the mail, and I was like, oh crap, I forgot this was coming. So I don't know anything about it. All I know is that it details, the other side of Galarian, the Mwangi Expanse. Think Africa, if you will. And the art in it is fantastic, I gotta say. There's all kinds of stuff in here. There's new races, new monsters, new ancestry feats. Uh, I mean, you name it, it's all in here. And there's people. The art is, I mean, just fantastic. It's really well done. The book is laid out really well. I wish, my only caveat is I wanted to see, if you're going to do these region books, I want to see a detailed map of that region. We're gamers. We fucking love maps. So give me a map for $50. Come on. Give me a map. Give me a map that I can pull out and I can, tack it up on the wall and I can show my players where they are. But we're looking at 312 pages, one page. The back page is an ad, and then of course there's the OGL, and then there's a full index and a table of contents, a glossary and index, and then of course there's a table of contents, and then typical for all the Pathfinder books, it has the side pages here that kind of tell you what part of the book you're in, so you can just flip through and go, oh, I need to go to religion, so now I can flip through and, when religion is highlighted, I know I'm in the religion section. Of course, geography is a huge part of this book. There it goes. Now I'm in the religion section, and so I can see all the different gods and everything. So this is obviously a buy in my book because I'm a huge Pathfinder fan, and I love this stuff. I eat these up. These are great. Whether you're a player or a GM, these are great to just curl up on the couch on a Saturday night when you got nothing going on, you're not gaming or whatever, and just read up on the lore and the history of the world and everything. And these books are great. So the little blurb on the back, let me get my little breakfast kickstart here. The blurb on the back says, vibrant and boundless. South of the forbidding barrier wall mountains lies a land of illustrious history and insurmountable natural beauty. Since time immemorial, the Mwangi Expanse has been home to an untold diversity of cultures and people, hosting powerful, isolated city-states that often paid little attention to their neighbors. Yet, the turning tides of fortune have begun to usher in changes that ripple across the world, and the Mwangi people now look both inward and outward with new prospects. Pathfinder Lost Omens, the Mwangi Expanse, lays forth both a vast landscape and a living history to be explored, and the ultimate resource for a realm of magic, monster, and intrigue. So, really nice, like I said, part of the subscription service. The book is out now, so you can buy it at your favorite retailer, or you can order it directly from Pathfinder. And if you order it from Pathfinder, like I said, you get the PDF. So definitely something to be, if you like the PDF or you want to add it to like Foundry VTT, this is a great way to do it. You buy that PDF, and then of course you legally bought it, so you can import it into Foundry, which is really nice. And then you can make maps, you can make NPC pictures, all that fun stuff. So like I said, I don't know anything about it. I just flipped through it a little bit. It just came in the mail, but I just wanted to let everybody know that it's here, it's out. If you buy from your local retailer, go check it out. Ask them to see if they can get you a copy if they don't have one in. It's got a lot of cool stuff in here, I'm sure, because it's Pathfinder and they always do super cool stuff. So I did also, so that's the end of the review and the hobby chat. We'll talk about a couple of things that are going on with the channel. What's going on with the channel. And life in general. My new job is going great. I'm very happy to be a warehouse coordinator 3. Basically equates to I'm a warehouse manager. I move cargo and stuff for the company I work for and make sure that that things get to where they need to be and that we have the stuff in stock. And my coworker who's training me is awesome. So very happy with everything that's going on right now in my life. I'm doing well. My wife was doing well. She has a great job. So life is good. Let's see what's happening on the channel. Views have been great. You guys have really been watching the videos. It really helps the algorithm. If you have a home PC and you're not doing anything, put it on my YouTube channel and spam all my videos. Turn the volume down. Let it run while you're at work. It helps out basically the algorithms and everything for time watched. YouTube looks at that very critically, and if people are like clicking off after 10 minutes, your video doesn't get out there and people don't know about it. So let's help the channel by just letting it play in the background. Listen to my big chubby cheeks drone on about gaming goodness. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it helps out the channel. So obviously the like and subscribe is always the same thing. You guys have been really active on like comments and stuff. I love it. So thank you. New subscriber Glorm, I think it was 5 days ago. So we've already given a shout out to him. So we're up to 915 subscribers, you guys. You guys are amazing. So all I can say is thank you. It's very humbling to see that, you know, there's 915 of you out there that enjoy my ramblings, and I really appreciate it. Let your friends know, your gaming group, you know, I'd like to hit that 1,000 mark subscription. That would be super cool. You know, when that happens, obviously we'll do a big hoop-ha. I also, at the end of July, I'm giving away to my Patreons. I'm going to have a giveaway for the Fallout Wasteland Warfare RPG with the proprietary dice. So you don't have to even go out and buy these. I bought this, and I'm never going to get to play it. I don't have anybody here in town that's interested in this. But I wanted to just do something for my Patreons. So the last day of July, I'll do a roll, a random pick on my Patreon, and I'll notify that person that they have won this, and then I'll get their shipping details. So if you'd like a chance to win a copy of Fallout and the proprietary dice, join the Patreon. It's $5 a month, and you get a $50 game, you know, for $5 a month. So, you know, like and subscribe, hit the Patreon. If you can't do the Patreon, I understand, money's tight for everybody. You can support the channel by purchasing stuff through Drive-Thru RPG using my affiliate link. You can also use PayPal Pay Me. There's a link down in the doobly-doo, and you can send a donation that way. All that money goes back into the channel, so I thank you guys wholeheartedly for everything. It really helps out the channel. And allows me to, you know, buy cool things. Discord's popping. Very happy with everybody on Discord. We've got a thriving community. If you like to talk about RPGs, or you want to bounce ideas about your homebrew, or if you're a publisher and you want to get on there, I have a special designator for publishers and content creators that are on either Drive-Thru or, you know, they work in the industry. You get a special color. If you're a Patreon, you get a special color that denotes that you are a Patreon subscriber. And also Patreon subscribers get first dibs on any games I run on my VTT. I use Foundry. Virtual Tabletop is my platform of choice. And you get first shot as my patrons. Cosmic Flux has been a Patreon subscriber for quite a while, and he gets into most of my games because he's a Patreon. So if that's something that interests you, please join my Patreon. We have a new channel on my Discord that is called The Art is the Mini. I had a number of people reach out to me and say, hey, I know you dabble in miniatures and you paint, and you play a little Warcry, and you play a little Necromunda, and you paint miniatures and, you know, all that stuff. You can see some of the stuff behind me. Infinity is a big one for me. They're like, can we start a channel on the Discord for miniatures? And so we did. And so we got a couple people on there. So if miniature hobbying is your jam and you want to come talk and maybe, you know, talk about techniques or whatever, or talk about your favorite model, or maybe just even post pictures of your miniatures. We just started the channel the other day. So hop on there or ask me for an invite if you need one, and I'll be more than happy to send it to you. So that's everything that's going on in Mr. Mean's life, guys. I hope everyone is wonderful. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. The weather looks like it's going to be nice here. It's going to get up in the 80s. We may get a little rain tomorrow, but yeah, here in northern Minnesota, everything is good, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And I'm just happy that I could spend 30 minutes with you guys, and thanks for watching. Peace and hair grease as always, and remember, Mr. Mean says be nice.